Hello and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man who just witnessed the insides of a baby Flurkin's belly. It's Norbert Morvan.
No more touching shit, especially glowing, mysterious shit. Okay, Hoffmeyer?
Yeah.
And I think that is literally something that we need to take with us into life.
Yeah, don't touch the glowing stuff. Let it be.
Don't touch it, man. What are we talking about here?
Why do you need to touch it?
Ooh, pretty. No. No. You gotta make the X with your hands too. No. You know what I'm saying? It's the international sign. Why? Why are we touching this?
Just shake that head. Yeah, just lay off.
Let's not do it.
But so this is our third annual MCU coverage episode, Norbert. Time flies, man.
Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. Time is a flat circle going straight forever.
That's some Loki stuff right there. So you know why I'm excited to talk about 2023 is because 2021 had a lot of wins. 2022 had some wins, had some downs, it had some ups. But 2023 was when MCU fans just started to just this is what I've been thinking about. This is what I think about, Norbert. I feel like you and I are fans of sports, right? You love the Knicks, I love the Tampa Bay Rays. I like Manchester United, Green Bay Packers.
Yes, sir.
Plenty of teams out there that we enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Every team has a good run. Like the Rays will make playoffs twice in a row, lose in the first round. They'll make the World Series, they'll lose. But then they'll have a couple bad seasons. They'll start off terribly. Manchester United will win everything for decades. And for the last 10 years, they've really not won. They haven't won the league. They haven't won the Champions League. They've won a couple cups. But you're a Knicks fan. You know all about, you get a big player in, you get some Linsanity, you get Patrick Ewing, you get some, there's ups and downs. So when I watch these Marvel movies, they just went on such a heater that now post Endgame, when they're kind of going through a bit of a hangover, and whatever, justifiably so, they expanded way too fast. Quality control was everywhere. Their budgets ballooned. But this is what happens. You can't throw heaters. Everybody has a bad season. Someone gets injured.
You can't.
So when I look at Marvel, people are like, "Oh, they suck now. They're terrible." And I'm sitting here thinking, let's watch them rebuild. Let's watch them learn. Let's watch them not pour $270 million into a 90-minute movie like the Marvels, right, which I like. But when I learned that the Marvels cost $270 million,
it's insane. It's insane.
I almost okay. So there's a movie called White Noise by Noah Baumbach, and I liked it a lot. But then I learned that it cost $140 million to make, and I liked it less because I'm like, this is not a $140 million movie. The creator costs $80 million. Captain the Marvel should not cost $270 million. Secret Invasion cost $212 million for those 6 episodes, Norbert, and it looks like it was filmed on wax paper.
Well, you got all that CGI, and you got all of that Skrull makeup.
Yeah, but they also had 4 months of reshoots because they had to go back and reshoot everything, which probably ballooned the budget a lot.
It's probably that probably has a thing to do with it. Yeah, and the Marvels as well. So much pew 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 and Flurkins.
Pews catch up on you. But listen, when the creator costs $80 million to make, the creator, I don't know if you watched it, but it's pretty much all VFX.
The movie's amazing too.
Gorgeous movie. So you watch that and you're like, that's 80 mil. And then you're like, that movie cost 270 mil. That movie, Loki cost, it's like, guys, does Loki need to cost 200 million? It's like Echo cost 40 million that we're going to talk about to make. And so I just think Marvel got huge. Then they're like, oh crap. We took our time building Thanos and then now we're done. And now we got to James Gunn's leaving. We had Chadwick Boseman passed away. We need to figure something out. It's so I feel like they're throwing everything at the wall and just hoping something stick. But as someone who's a fan of sports or whatever, it doesn't matter what you're a fan of, any fandom, it's fun watching this now because it's how are they going to get out of this? I don't mind it. I really don't. I'm not the angry fan out there. I have never written a letter or written a mean tweet. It's just where the MCU is at right now. And
you're not wrong.
And I just like watching it happen. And I'm not saying I'm watching it burn. They're going to have to course correct. Let's see Feige make his money. Let's see what happens when he's got to turn the ship around. So it's for me thinking about the 2023 phase 5 MCU stuff. it's just been a good time because it's like this is like Jonathan Majors is now gone. You know, like he
Oh, that guy.
like
Yeah.
Jonathan Majors is gone, and then it's like this. So does Quantumania even count? Does Loki even count? Like is Secret Invasion? There's a million scrolls on our planet. Like they could take over.
Brother.
Like what? Like I'm spiraling here. Captain Marvel's committing genocide. Like what?
Yes, multiple times.
Like what? Like you know, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is one of the best third entries in a franchise ever, but those characters
Best
probably won't
movie.
come back.
No, they're done.
Yeah,
They're
and you're
done.
just
They might be cameos later.
like Loki's a tree.
Loki's the
Secret
god of
Invasion,
stories.
like, and then Echo's gonna lead into the next coolest stuff like Kingpin and Daredevil and like bring back the Netflix
Yes.
folks. And it's just been real. You know, I learned She-Hulk cost $25 million an episode, and which I mean, I love She-Hulk. We talked about it last year, and
Every frame that she's on
yeah,
screen is like $1 billion, man. Because
and
she's normally not Jim. She's normally She-Hulk. That's the thing. So yeah, that's always going to be expensive. Absolutely.
and then they had to keep doing reshoots because they didn't have a script going into it. So then the VFX had to
Madness.
be last minute, which means there's overtime, which means it costs more because they have to rush it and work 24/7, which is like double time. So it's just, I don't know, man. I don't even know how many of these stories are going to cross over to future things. You know, Captain Marvel made the least money of any Marvel movie, which is disappointing, or the Marvels, because
Yeah.
it's fun.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll jump into it. I
It's a
know I
good
just did
movie.
like a jump into it, but I've been holding on to this, and
Oh yeah, you
listen, Norm, I just think it's fun. Like
yeah.
like let's watch them figure this out. Like let's let them. I like a little chaos.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, let's see what. Yeah, like it's just, you know, they took a step back. Daredevil's going to be good now because the Daredevil show, Norbert. Sorry, I interrupted, but they went four episodes. They went 4 episodes of that Daredevil show. And then I guess they didn't even have Daredevil suit up. And apparently there's a rumor that like Foggy, and that Deborah Ann Woll, who's like awesome, they were killed, and he had to like get over that. And it's like, what are you guys thinking? Like, who's doing this? Like, and now they're going back to their roots. So I think they're learning, and I think we got some cool movies coming up, and there were some great moments in 2023. So I'm just excited to talk about it with you here.
But you sound like it, brother. I'm glad you're okay.
Well, like, why be mad? Like, let's watch them. Like, let's watch them dig them. Like, let's watch them figure it out. Like, I enjoy that.
Dude, everything you say, accurate. You and I, we grew up during the 80s. So we didn't have the MCU. The closest thing we had to the MCU in the 80s was those live action Incredible Hulk TV movies, where they tried to do a backdoor pilot for Thor and Daredevil in those movies. The Return of the Incredible Hulk was a backdoor pilot for Thor. And then they had the Trial of the Incredible Hulk, which was the backdoor pilot for Daredevil. And the dude who was Daredevil, I think he was on a motorcycle TV show that they tried to get, like Street something. It was amazing. It was terrible, but it was amazing. And so they weren't trying to necessarily make a quote unquote universe. They were just literally throwing stuff at the wall to see if it sticks. Those movies were great, man. And so what happens with the MCU is we got Thanos. Thanos was awesome in the comics. Absolutely. And initially he was like an Iron Man villain. He was in a helicopter back in the 60s and 70s. He was in a helicopter fighting people, and he was the worst. Jim Starlin takes him back. You know what? Let me do this thing called the Infinity Gauntlet. That comic was a game changer. Bang. Excellent story. All right. Excellent. Even the crossovers were cool. And then, of course, because capitalism, they took it too far. They made like 3 more of those, and they weren't, it was all diminishing returns. You got 70 years of stories, right? What are we talking about here? After Endgame, everybody was saying, we want the Fantastic Four. Bang. Who's the next dude? Let's see. We ruined Galactus in that Fantastic Four movie. Let's do that again, bro.
Let's make him a blob.
And you come in with Galactus because you introduce the Skrulls into the MCU, but the Skrulls, they're at war with the Kree, and the Kree destroyed their planet. In the comics, Galactus destroys the Skrull planet. So now we can get Galactus in there. We can get the Fantastic Four in there, because the Fantastic Four that was the series where they introduced Galactus in like issue 48, 49, and 50. It was dope. It was great. And that's where you get that plot for that terrible sequel that they made.
Oh, Rise of Silver Surfer.
That was basically the plot of those 3 issues. Yeah. And what's his name? Fishburne was so good as the Silver Surfer. It was so good. That's why I still have that movie, because Fishburne as the Silver Surfer nails it.
And like Doug Jones was the model, right? So I mean, like you have a great physicality, you have the wonderful voice.
It was great. And then you always have that weird thing where, oh, a giant purple and blue guy would look stupid. Let's make Galactus into a cloud. Bro, you got a dude made of rocks. What are we talking about here? Why are we now holding back on ridiculous things? You know what I mean? So go for it, man. All the stuff is there. You're going to try to crap on the design of Jack Kirby? How dare you, Hollywood executive? Go back to your Coke parties, you weirdo. We needed to see Galactus on screen 20 years ago, bro, at this point. Because you look at the Jurassic Park effects, if they can make that dinosaur look real, we can't get a giant dude. We've already got the Eternal still sitting in the middle of the Pacific doing nothing.
The Vacation Lodge.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could do F1 races on it.
Those dudes are like the size of Galactus. What are we, bruh? And those, again, Jack Kirby design. That's basically Control-C, Control-V. They're not even changing what they look like, because Kirby, the absurd art that man used to make, he was so fantastic.
Yeah.
So fantastic. So just go with what you got, man. You want to change things, change it. But then again, not really. Look what you got. Look what you already got. The MCU is the most successful series in the history of humanity. Billions of dollars that they've made. So let's just go with it, man. Let's go with it.
I feel like that's why you and I are pretty chill too, because we had Spider-Man 1, 2, and then 3, which was kind of bonkers, but I love it. We had X-Men 1 and 2, then Last Stand.
It's crap, yeah.
Yeah, and then we had First Class, Days of Future Past, and then Apocalypse. We had the Fantastic Four. We had Blade 1 and 2, then Blade Trinity. So it's like, we grew like, then we have Batman and Robin. Like, it's just, so we've been whistling highs, lows. Like, right? You and I have been up and down with comic books forever. And listen, oh man, I want to see Galactus too, because then you can bring in Morg and Silver Surfer and that whole thing about
kidding me?
What a great series that was. Like, I read
is good.
I read X-Men and that. And like, why not Doctor Doom? So like, I know we're trying to fix the MCU, but then you're like, hey, let's go to Kang because we have a multiverse. And so we're just going to have the same guy do, like Screen Junkie said he did his like best Shakespeare in the Park voices. But, like they're like this. So the same guy is just going to keep popping up in different movies and we're going to kill him. Like ants defeat him in Quantumania.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. The multiverse is a crutch. We can say it. Say it. It's a crutch. It's so that they can keep bringing dudes back. It's definitely a crutch. It's something that's definitely overused. But comic books, they can't end.
Like they can't end. And like Patrick Stewart and Haley Atwell were kind of mad about their appearances. Recently, they said that they were mad about their appearances in Doctor Strange, but I'm like, there's still 40 trillion other timelines that you could be Captain Carter in. So it's
for sure.
It's just pop, like pop them up and do it. And but I guess coming back to this, like let's start with the first movie to come out, and that's Quantumania, where
yes, sir.
It's just Scott Lang, he's back. So I talked about it on the podcast earlier this year, and I had fun with it because this is like a little yarn, like it's like inner space. You just get get smaller.
It's literally inner space.
Yeah, you get smaller, you get sucked into something, and like you're like, oh, I got to get out of here, and then there's problems inside. Like that's it. And then you got I don't know, that MODOK running around.
Oh my God. As a man who's been reading comic books for 40 years, I have never been a big MODOK dude in the first place. Patton Oswalt, shout out to him. That was a cool little series on Hulu that they definitely should have given some more shine. He did MODOK well because it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. We've taken a man, we've increased his intelligence to an absurd point, but we put him basically in a floating chair and made his arms and legs useless. So MODOK, there's 2 times that MODOK was cool to me in the comic books. Once was when we had this massive Hulk crossover called World War Hulk. They were changing, not World War Hulk, sorry. They were changing basically everybody into Hulks because why not? Let's do chaos, you know? So Captain America becomes the Hulk and Spider-Man because it was absurd. It was just ridiculous. Yeah, Betty Ross, let's make her into Red Hulk. Why not? Let's make her father a Red Hulk also. It was absurd. I love that. It was just dumb. It was wonderful. And the second one, Age of Ultron. Age of Ultron in the comic books is they go back in time to kill Henry Pym. But the inciting event is MODOK and the Wizard. They're doing a Frightful Four thing. And so the Avengers come in to kick their ass. And they've been hiding this thing in the background. It looks like a space rock that they found. Whoops, it's actually Ultron. And this time he figured out how to actually kill everybody. And then they go back in time and do time travel and stuff. So those are the only 2 times I've ever loved MODOK. Making MODOK Darren, who, you know, Darren, very generic. I just want to be rich villain. But, you know, Corey Stoll, great actor.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what makes that great, you know. MODOK, though, it was just a weird. That's where you could see the CGI started suffering because I look like a PS4 model. It was weird.
Maybe that's why I liked him, because it did not look good. And it just, and then it was just so odd next to Kang.
Really,
like Jonathan
really
Majors
weird.
Is so serious. And then you have MODOK and like his butt and like just being weird and weird stuff coming out of him. And you're like, this movie does not know what's happening with each other.
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. MODOK is supposed to be a super intelligent monster. Mechanized organism designed only for killing. Not really. Not really. Designed for being kind of sad, kind of a jerk. It wasn't great.
I'm gonna get my award here, and I think I want to hear what you think. But my award is I almost bought Scott Lang's autobiography award the other day. I was at Barnes and Noble, and I saw his book. His book is out. Look out for the little guy. It's on shelves. I'm like, I'm not that much serious. I was like, I'm not that much of a corporate shill. Because apparently it's just like a self-help book. But I was like, hey, this is kind of fun. If this goes on like 99 cents on Kindle, I'll get it. But I mean, just here's the thing. He's so charming, Paul Rudd.
He is.
And like he's just so charming in these movies. And Evangeline Lilly has nothing to do in this movie. I liked Catherine Newton and Freaky, but there's that weird scene at the dinner table at this film when like Scott was in the quantum realm for forever. And then he goes and helps battle Thanos and goes back in time and like sees some things and does all this work. And at the dinner table, they're all like laughing at him about his book. Maybe that's just maybe that's like the family dynamic. And she's like, Dad, you know, like what? It's like, cut the guy some slack. He was in the like he was shrunk for
he literally saved half of the sentient beings in the universe. I mean, give him a little more credit.
And they're just insulting him at the dinner table. And I just kind of I was like, how does this happen? Because Peyton Reed was solid with his first 2 movies, and I don't know. But
there is something interesting that I came across on the internet. The first Iron Man movie, the thing that started it all, Roger Ebert gave it a 4-star review, 4 stars. But he gives the warning that definitely is the problem with that dinner scene and so much of the MCU. He says, it's prudent, I think, that Favreau positions the rest of the characters in more serious vein. The supporting cast wisely does not try to one-up him. Gwyneth Paltrow plays Pepper Potts as a woman who's seriously concerned that the goofball will kill himself. Jeff Bridges makes Obadiah Stane one of the great superhero villains by seeming plausibly concerned about the stock price. Terrence Howard, as Colonel Rhodes, is at every moment a conventional straight arrow. What a horror show it would have been if they were all tuned to Tony Stark's sardonic wavelength.
Oh.
Everybody can't be quippy. It can't all be that. And this is the big problem.
Everybody was quippy.
Everybody's quippy. It's the same thing that crushed the Ghostbusters with the female comics. Everybody was Peter. They were all Peter Venkman. They're all Peter Venkman.
Interesting.
And this is what's crushing the MCU. Everybody's quippy. One of the reasons why the Marvels was cool is that they're 3 different women.
Yeah.
They're not all the same.
Completely different. Yeah.
They're not all the same.
That's a really good point.
And so what you're talking about at the dinner table, everybody's got a snarky joke. Everybody's snarky man. And it's something that definitely, as the MCU went on, And then it's even when Joss Whedon goes to remake the Justice League, everybody's snarkalicious. That's why it's not cool. Somebody has to be the straight man, you know?
Wow. That's why Patrick Wilson. That's why I like the new Aquaman, because it's Patrick Wilson and
Patrick Wilson's just
Momoa.
a jerk. It was so funny. Yes.
And they're just, he's the bro, he's the not bro. He's the literal. They're bros, but one of them's a bro.
It's a buddy cop movie. Yeah, it's a buddy cop movie. And buddy cop movies work because one's straight man, the other one's the Joker or whatever, the Odd Couple. Hello, Neil Simon. Let's take some notes.
And Ant-Man works so well because he's goofy. The ex-con guys are goofy, but Michael Douglas and Hope Van Dyne weren't.
That's right.
And then the second one, I think she was a little snarkier, but it was still fun. Like the second, because it had more ex-con, it had Walton Goggins, it had Truth Serum. And the director Peyton Reed said that he's tired of being the palate cleanser for Avenger movies. Like he's like, I want to be an Avenger movie, but you're Ant-Man. Like you're Ant-Man. Right. Like just Ant-Man fist fights Kang, and it's fine. You know what? I'm still saying it. It's a yarn, and I'm fine with it. I'll watch it. It's good. Whatever.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we do like this movie, but it's just we are experiencing the fatigue. It's okay, man. It's okay. We're experiencing the fatigue, and it's the same reason why every character's arc in these last 5-6 years of Marvel movies feels like it's the same, because everybody's doing the same thing. Mm-hmm. Snarky Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is snarky too. You know what I'm saying? And in the comics, he had a little bit of that, but not really. Not really. He came out and he was basically magical Tony Stark. That first movie, he was Magic Tony Stark.
Yeah. We had two Tonys. And
they were both Tony Stark.
That's why I like Tom Holland's earnestness in the Spider-Man movies, because he's not snarky. Like MJ's snarky, but she's not that kind of snarky. And Ned's just a good kid. So I think those movies are why I like it, because they're just like, hey, Tom Holland's a good kid. We don't need to make him Tony Stark. We don't need to give him facial hair and look like Benedict Cumberbatch and all that. But I guess if we've got to move on from Quantumania, it's just, what's your award for Quantumania?
Oh man, so many awards that I have. Scott Lang,
read them.
The dad. Scott Lang, he gets the dad award because he's so caring. He really does care. The PTSD award comes from Janet, man. Janet gets the PTSD award, man, because she came back and she was definitely, what are you doing? You're never get the bottom round. And she was just wilding, you know? And then we have, what the hell? Is that him award? Bill Murray comes out of nowhere. And then Janet's like, I had needs. Yeah, me and Bill Murray doing the horizontal mambo. That's right. In flagrante delicto with Bill Murray, as they were just making the insurgency against Kang. That was hilarious. Also,
that's the movie
Oscar, I want. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And the Oscar Goes To award, Cassie, when she gives that Endor speech that rallies everyone into finally turning against Kang before the ants come.
Yeah, of course. And just the ants obliterate everything so easily. It's like when the ghosts come in Return of the King.
Yes.
It's like, I want to see them fight.
So, yeah, Ant-Man 3, it's a good movie. It's a perfectly cromulent film, as we say here in movie, films, and flicks.
It's fine.
And the one marketing thing that they absolutely missed, bruh, the ooze.
Yeah, that was the ooze.
Drink the ooze. Ooze. So, Ecto Cooler was a thing. Ecto Cooler came out. There's not a human being in the United States under the age of 15 that was not drinking Ecto Cooler, because Ghostbusters, that cartoon that filled in the gap between movie 1 and movie 2, Ecto Cooler was the thing. We were peeing green for a few years.
Food coloring's still in my stomach lining.
It's still there. It's still there. And so the ooze is a missed opportunity. All right. The tagline, drink the ooze. It'll have you speaking in tongues. I see that commercial. Shut up and take my money. The ooze has to come out as a drink, bro.
We need it. And then we can understand different languages.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, my main problem though with Quantumania is, like, maybe I was a child when I watched it, but when you think about Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, or you think about Inner Space, I feel like there's a sense of wonder in there. Like, you're in it and you're like, whoa, there wasn't much of a sense of wonder in Quantum Realm. It was just, you could get good beverages and good drinks and good food, and like it just wasn't. Does that make sense? Like there wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't.
Well, what they did was they introduced so many of those side characters that unfortunately we didn't get to hang out with for too long. William Jackson, who can read your mind. I wanted more of him. The
He was just miserable
guy. Yeah, he was. The dude with a gun for a face. He was awesome.
Katie O'Brien as Gentora. Like I like her. She's cool.
How many holes do you have, and what comes out of the holes? Is that building alive? Yours aren't. I mean, there was the moment when they meet the camp. It was really cool.
Yeah,
it was really cool.
Like, give me more of that. Like I think Peyton Reed is strongest when he's like, back it up. We're doing it. Back it up. Like back. It is true serum. Like he's best when he's with his characters, and I think that's the strongest beats on this. Yeah, so, but I also like. I mean, I like Catherine Newton too. Like I hope she gets another shot. I like that movie Freaky. I think she's good. I think there's a lot of teenage brilliant people in here now though, because there's her. There's the Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Riri Williams. There's Hawkeye. Like there's a bunch of young inventors now who are incredibly
they definitely
brilliant.
Tease that.
Yeah,
they definitely tease that.
We'll see. Why not do it? Okay, just give it to us. All right, I'm gonna open up the next movie with an award, and I'm gonna say the best usage of space hogs in the meantime, and that's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Because
you already know.
Listen, I love In the Meantime, but here's the thing: before internet, before Spotify, I never could remember the name of In the Meantime, but I love that song by Space Hawk. Like, but I would be like, what's the name of that song? Last the only one. I didn't even know the words, so I just.
The skies are blue. I still don't know the name of that song. What'd you say it was called?
In the Meantime. But I was like, oh, we're just like you. Like it was, and then eventually I learned In the Meantime, and I love it. I immediately like put it on all my playlists. And then when I heard it in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, I was like, oh yes, this is wonderful. And it just made me really happy. And listen, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 pulled in $845 million on a $250 million budget. You can see why that movie has a $250 million budget though. Like that's a lot. But I mean, listen, like the High Evolutionary, incredible. And the actor who played him, he said that like he and Gunn, they wanted to they didn't want to give the Evolutionary any sympathy, unlike previous villains like Thanos or Killmonger. Right. They're like, they focus on under Gunn's orders on commenting on the character's single-mindedness, narcissistic, and zealous personality, like the most horrific figures in history have been shown to be. And it's like they didn't make him a Killmonger, right? They didn't try to make him be likable. I mean, there's a lot different story there, but you know what I mean? Like this dude is, he's pissed off that Rocket is smarter than him in some regards. And he's just a petty, brutal murderer. And there's some really dark moments in this movie. I think the MVP is Karen Gillan. She's just unbelievable in it. Pratt's good in it. I mean, I like Gamora. I mean, Drax, like everyone's good. Like, and oh man, this movie's so good. I just watched it again. I listened to the commentary and just, what a movie, man. Like what a
it's by far the best MCU movie of 2023. There were three that came out. That one is by far the best one. The needle drops, the banter, the teamwork, Drax, anytime he speaks, you're just grabbed by it. The incredibly heartwarming Rocket Raccoon origin story.
Oh man,
that came out of nowhere, man. That was so sad. It was so sad. His little friends.
And Linda Cardellini was so good as the voice of Lila. Like she was just so good. And then you had like the Rocket, like Rocket story. Like James Gunn said he did this film because he did all these films because he always felt like Rocket was his through line through everything. And Rocket's the main character in this. He's this adorable animal that was tortured and became this brilliant creature who
it's like, bro, you are a raccoon actually.
Who just hates and is like, saw his friends die in his moment of violence. And like there's stakes in this movie. He reacts thinking about violence, his friends die. Like it's crazy. Like Quill is just a straight up alcoholic in this movie. Yeah. Like he's drunk when the attack happens, when Rocket gets hurt. And then James Gunn said the rest of his movies, he's just trying to make up for that. Like he murders that one guy. Like, remember when they
Yes.
lands on that guy? He just executes him. Like,
Oh yeah, he's a murderer.
Quill's not messing around in this movie. He's really pissed off. And
he's extremely hurt with the loss of Gamora.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. And then she pops up and he goes at it hard and she's like, listen, I'm not that, but you get it. And then they don't end up together, which I think is smart. I was kind of hoping, that scene where he's looking at Nebula, he's like, well, your eyes are pretty black. And like, you did look good. Like, and so, what's interesting, Karen Gillan, so Gunn denies ever considered them becoming a couple, but Gillan does believe that Nebula and Quill have kind of a crush on each other. So
probably.
I love that scene.
You know what ends up happening, man. You're around somebody long enough, that's how workplace romances start. You keep seeing, what was that show? You keep seeing that girl by the cubicle, it's just proximity crush, man. That's all it is. She's always there.
I just love when he looks in her eyes, but also, man, that hilarious scene with Nathan Fillion, that was all improvised. Like, he's an idiot. Like, oh, did you do that? Oh, when'd you do that? He's like, just, and then James Gunn's wife, when she gets shot in the leg, her reaction, she's like, ah! just Quill's swollen face, Adam Warlock being dumb, and just this Cosmo being cheeky, and I don't know, man. I just, everything about it it's such a good final entry, and Gunn like swung. Like, I think, I don't know, man. There's something different about his movies. Look better than the other MCU movies. The action somewhat makes sense in those movies. Like,
it's the same thing that happened with James Cameron. They have that trajectory where they started during the rough and tumble 70s, early 80s, making trash movies for all intents and purposes. Trauma, Roger Corman, Harvey Corman is also funny though. Trauma, Roger Corman, Piranha 2 was Cameron's first movie. These movies suck, but they learn the ropes. They know how to make a movie with $10 and an egg timer.
Yeah.
And so when they finally do get the budget, the technology, the crew, they're not afraid. I know what a good idea is. I know how to write a script. I know how to develop characters. The Guardians of the Galaxy are on a 3-movie arc, and everybody has a character arc through those 3 movies. All of them. That's not something that you can say for not just MCU movies, just movies in general. Like Indiana Jones, God bless him, is the same dude for 5 movies. You know what I'm saying? But those movies are great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But Peter Quill, selfish jerk. By the time he gets to this 3rd movie, he's a fully grown adult. He wants to see his family. He gets that he can't get with Gamora anymore, and so on and so on, man. That's one of the knocks on the Marvels too. The girls are just the girls. The ladies are the same. They're the same. They're the same. They don't really change,
No.
And so we get Kamala's family, which makes up for their lack of a character arc. And her mom, oh my God, Kamala, you are not allowed to go on any space adventures. Like your mom saying, you can't go past the corner on the block. It was so great.
Like Kamala's like, I didn't break my door. It wasn't me.
Yeah.
That's their biggest issue in there.
Exactly.
I just think, like, so the reason what I love about James Gunn is not only in his commentary does he know the name of every single one of his crew, but when I worked on, I'll probably talk about this 100 times, but this is applicable. So when I worked on Guardians 2, Gunn doesn't do reshoots. So what he does, the days are long. But the days are long because he gets what he needs that day. And so, but the thing is, no one complains because everyone knows it's good. Everyone knows they won't have to come back. And everyone knows that the take he probably likes is the take that works. And I think just watching this movie and the emotion that he's able to get out of these actors, and just the storyline that he's able to tell, even with the violence in it. Like, this is a gnarly movie. Like, it is. But like I love that the high evolutionary just sort of, man, like, you don't need to give this dude a backstory. He's just a narcissistic, evil human being.
He's a sociopath and a narcissist who thinks that he can do life literally better than nature. That's insane.
And
That's all I need.
if you think about most rulers, right? Like, hey, let's attack Russia in the winter. You know, that goes for a couple people and their massive power. This guy's his own downfall. He could have gotten out of there, but his stubbornness killed him. And like that's what happens to most leaders. You know, it's he doesn't listen to his probably people who are smarter than him, or not smarter, but like know like how it can step back and take a look at it. And so I love the way he designed that character. And I just love, I don't know, just the reason I brought up the other movie is just I just got to listen to him work and talk and get the takes he needed. And it flows really effortlessly and it's really chill. And you see this movie. I mean, this thing costs 250. This thing costs 30 million less than the Marvels, and it's like 45 minutes longer. And listen, I think James Gunn's been around a lot longer than Nia DaCosta, but like you can just tell that he's a veteran presence who knows what he wants. And he also he also loves the characters. You know, like in Ant-Man 3, you're like, does Peyton Reed love these characters? You're like, remember in Spider-Man 3, you're like, Sam Raimi hates Venom. Like you can tell,
you can see it. Yeah,
you can tell sometimes when the director's just like, I don't like this guy. Like, I don't like this. Like, I don't want this. And like this got pushed on me, but you can tell he loves all of his characters. And then like, the first two movies started off with big kind of bops, like just really bopping songs. This one starts off with an acoustic version of Creep.
Yes.
Like that's,
man.
They don't even have like the build up of the guitars, like they don't even lead into that. It's just a good why did I lose that word? Acoustic. But yeah, I don't know. He just guided it through, and it's just cool, man. It's just cool. I love listening to the guy talk about making his movies, and I could gush about this thing for hours. What's your award?
Yeah,
for
man.
it?
Man, listen, the $200 million budget, the award that I definitely give goes to, the sound department's getting all that money, the licensing fee.
Yeah.
Because the needle drops, whereas in She-Hulk, you think, oh, okay, we know where all the budget's gone for this. We just saw the CGI. This one, you're licensing all these songs? That's got to be $100 million by itself.
Huge.
It's got to be, man. And also, man, another award. Okay, it's that guy award for the High Evolutionary. As a kid, I grew up with the High Evolutionary, though, even though the High Evolutionary is from like Thor. I grew up with the High Evolutionary. There was one of the first crossovers that they did. It was called the Evolutionary War. It was really, really weird that I still don't know exactly what it was about, man. It was the Evolutionary War. What was he going to do? That's why when I saw that he was in the Guardians 3, I was thinking, okay, so I guess they could just do whatever with this guy, because to this day, I still don't know what the motivation of the High Evolutionary is. And to the credit of that movie, this is the first MCU movie to actually clarify the villain for me. So that's what he wants to do. Okay. He just wants to he's Dr. Moreau, basically. I get it now. I didn't understand that for literally 40 years in comics. I didn't know it. I just always thought cool costume though. Because costume is awesome in comics.
And the stretch face looked good here. And he got his face scratched off by Rocket.
That's right. We'll call it the Thanks for Clearing That Up for Me award.
What do you think about Adam Warlock?
Oh, man. You see, I like the actor that does Adam Warlock, but I preferred the comic version Adam Warlock because he's kind of a weird, evil Jesus in the comic books. He popped up for me the first time I saw him. He pops up in Infinity Gauntlet. And he knows Thanos' backstory. He knows his mental state. So he's helping the heroes deal with Thanos as he tries to eliminate half of all sentient life in the universe. And the whole time, there's kind of what's his ulterior motive? Everybody's kind of looking at him, he looks a little shady. Come to find out, I'm doing this so I can get the Infinity Gauntlet, actually. And so people are saying, dude, you have the power of God in your hands now. What are you going to do with it? He's like, I don't know. It just disappears after he gets it. And he's not an idiot. And he's not a moron. And nobody tells him what to do.
Oh.
And he's got Pip the Troll, and Pip the Troll's rolling around. He talks like he's from Brooklyn over here. He's smoking cigars and whatnot over there, So I don't mind what they did with him. But I would have liked to have seen kind of weird, maybe evil Jesus. He hangs out in the Soul Gem. You know what I mean? He's just a weird dude, man. You know, you can hear it in my voice. That's what I want.
And I guess my main problem is I like the actor a lot. He just wasn't in it much. Like Warlock is not in it much. He's fine.
He's a moron.
Yeah.
He's a moron. He's got no, this animal's cute. I want him to be my pet. I mean, mommy.
Because he's like a newborn, I guess. But yeah, if they would have made him that. But like, I guess that's such a big personality that like, I don't know if they could handle that right then. I don't even know if he was needed in this movie. I mean, I guess he's powerful enough to mess up Rocket.
Yeah.
But you know what's cool about this movie? I feel like every scene, like all the action scenes makes like push the plot forward. Rocket gets hurt. And then they go to the blob planet or the blob facility.
That was such a weird planet, man. It was like
gross. And then they learn something from that to go somewhere else. And like, I just think every step, and then the action scene that happens inside the head of the Celestial, you know, like
nowhere.
It gives good old Sean Gunn Kraglin a chance to use his powers, right? And it gives just the adorable Cosmo, the dog, a chance to do good stuff, be a good dog. And it
even they get character, even they get an arc over the 3 movies, and they're just the most side of side characters.
And it just
I can't wait to see what he does with DC. To be honest with you,
good stuff.
Because he knocks everything out of the park. You could say that his worst movie is like Slither, and that movie's awesome.
I love Slither.
You know what I mean? That's like his worst movie because that's just trauma. That's trauma. That's trauma with a budget. Slither. Like that movie's not for everybody.
It's mean.
Yeah.
Like I was not ready for how mean Slither was going to get. So I was watching. I'm like,
dark.
But I do love when Nathan Fillion goes like, I don't have to. I got too much muscle mass. I can't get drunk. I'm too buff. But no, definitely the best of 2023. And I just don't know what are they going to, they're not going to do anything. Like it's not going to get any better than this. Like no one's going to go to Russo, no one's going to work with Russo or like Taika Waititi, who just doesn't care. Like they're not, no one wants to do that. So I think so it's weird. Like I'm used to like nothing. I don't know what's going to build for the next phase, but it's again,
it's got to be Galactus
or Doctor Doom.
Galactus or Doctor Doom. It's got to be. It's got to be. It's those are iconic villains, and they've ruined Doctor Doom in the first 2 Fantastic Four movies. They ruined him by making him a rich jerk.
Do you think they need to get Doctor Doom just kind of ground it a little bit, like literally ground it on Earth? Like Galactus is incredible, but to go back to space with more Celestials and all this. But if you just have Doom, Doctor Doom, and just ground it, and then like I'm gonna say it again, Norbert, ground it.
You're right. Doom's behind the scenes orchestrating crap. You know,
lead up to it. Just
let's go.
Give us that. And like, it'd be cool. I like a lot of the people in the MCU currently, so have these people who are not prepared fight Doctor Doom. Like, when it came down to Avengers, we had Thor who had been there, done that. We had Captain America who had been there, done that, and then been there, done that. We had Tony Stark who had been there, done that. Everyone had been there, done that. So, Renner became a serial killer. So it's and everyone. It was a bunch of grown people, maybe with the exception of like Spider-Man against Thanos. So let's get some kids and let's have them fight Doctor Doom with some stakes. Like let's.
Right, he would cripple those children in the comics, but I know what you mean.
Like
he wouldn't necessarily murder them, but he would absolutely put them in the ICU.
But that'd be cool.
He's not that guy.
Like
he's not that guy. The comics made him so great in that when Reed and Sue have their second daughter, Valeria, Doom is like their uncle. Doom's like her uncle. She hangs with Doctor Doom and they have this weird relationship. He looks out for her. Like he protects her. When she gets in trouble in the comics, Doom might come out of nowhere and like vaporize a town and be like, "You okay, Valeria?" And then bounce. It's like some shit like that would be anyway. These are fingers crossed moments for the MCU.
And the final movie of 2023 of phase 5 of this year of the MCU is the Marvels. You know, it's
Yeah.
so this movie, it made 206 million worldwide, which hurts. Like that's just a slap. But I do think Ant-Man Quantumania kind of soured people a little bit. Guardians exists on its own. Like Guardians is an MCU movie, but it's not. I feel like Guardians is its own brand at this point, that let outside of the MCU. But then you have
you could launch spin-offs and all that with this.
Yeah, but I mean the first Captain Marvel made a bill, and then it's like you bring in this one, and then I love Tiana Paris. Like she's wonderful, and I think Aman Vellani as Kamala Khan is just a breath of fresh air. And I think under Nia DaCosta's guidance, I think she really grew from her character from Miss Marvel, because in Miss Marvel, I just, they didn't let her talk much, and when she did, she kind of mumbled and like said a sentence. This one, she just has an energy and like a life to her that like really stepped up the character. I don't know if you noticed that. Like I like the Marvels a lot, but they wouldn't let her say more than a sentence. So it's like this time I think they let her grow and like exist and be that blast of like, I don't know, light.
She's the audience surrogate.
Yeah,
she's the fanboy. She's the person who goes to comic book convention in the movie.
Yeah, and has walls of Captain Marvel.
She writes fan fiction. That's her.
Literally, yeah.
Absolutely. And quite literally, yeah.
So it was fun watching her grow in this movie, and it was fun watching her get all the rave reviews. But and I watched it again. I talked to you about it, then I went and watched it again. And the villain in this movie doesn't have much time, but you get why the villain just wants to Dar-Ben. It's like, listen,
I love Dar-Ben.
You committed genocide on our planet. So now I'm just going to go and everywhere you like, I'm going to destroy and use for my planet, which now here's the thing. If Dar-Ben would have done that on other planets, would Captain Marvel have cared?
Bruh, 2 planets get murdered in this movie.
Yeah, an entire water planet.
And they don't really talk too much about it afterwards. Well, lost the water planet. That guy was my husband. Oh, that's too bad. Anyway, so, the Flurkins have taken over. Yeah. Man. That was insane.
This is genocide. Like, the population of that planet died. Like, Captain Marvel showed up, killed everybody, killed the ultimate intelligence, and then just ducked.
And then she bounced. And then this plunged their society into civil war that ruined the air, the earth, and the water. Captain Marvel's not a cool person, man.
No.
It's not cool. You're a bad Tony Stark made Ultron? Yeah. That's messed up. You know what I mean? Captain Marvel's responsible for the death of billions. and the Annihilator. I don't like that name. I mean, Carol. Let's look at the stats here. She's not wrong.
And when she explains it to Kamala's like, it's cool. Like, you're fine.
Yeah. I mean, planets die. What can I tell you?
Like, Nia DaCosta said that she wanted to make this movie under 2 hours. So, I mean, she's like, I just think that's fine. She's like, I want to make it. But the thing is, they could have made it an hour 50 with 10 minutes of credits. Instead, this is like 90 minutes with 10 minutes of credits. Like, this movie needs a little bit more. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong, because we need to see Captain Marvel really deal with the fact that she's responsible for the death of billions.
2 planets.
2 planets, and like all the Kree who were choking to death because they ran out of oxygen. And also the sun doesn't work anymore. like really bad.
Like
really bad stuff.
Tony Stark created Ultron to protect the world. It goes bad, and he just suffers from it. Like, he's not like he's a recluse. Like, he doesn't want it. Like, he messed up, and
he goes through some things.
But Marvel's just like, I messed up, and everyone's like, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
like, that's and she has the power though to make that better.
Well, she literally did at the end. She realizes, oops, spoiler alert. Well, you know what? I should fix this planet. Let me go fix this sun after 20 years. Yeah, I should finally try and fix that sun that I broke. So that's why if you think too hard, movie's got some problems. But if you just jump in and you just want to see three ladies have a good time, hey, Marvel's a good movie, man.
Dude,
second best movie this year.
Like,
MCU.
I agree. And like Ant-Man movies, the best parts are when they're in their room, like working together and
when they're just hanging out.
and
Yeah.
and when it's the parents hanging out, when the Flurkins are eating people, and that's when it's at its best. Like, but I wanted more of that. Like, I just wanted to know like about their dynamic, and I just and listen, it's also refreshing. When I saw the running time of it, I went, yes. Like, so I'm not complaining that it's too. I was like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. I won't be here for an extra hour, but it's yeah. I've watched it twice and I enjoy it. But the problem is with watching it more. The first time I watched it, I just was like, this is fun. Like, people are falling. Like, there's a whole scene where they're falling from the sky, which doesn't really matter much. And then the Flurkins, and then the parents are just up there in space, and Flurkin and Fury. Fury's a little cheekier this time. There's the singing planet. I'm like, yeah, this is whatever. It's a cool time. But then the second time, I was like, she did genocide. Like, so I don't know if I want to watch it a third time, because I might notice more things. But I think it will. I think kids will enjoy this, though. I think this will have a good life on cable. So when people treat the Marvels like it's the worst thing ever, it's like, guys, a lot of these movies weren't the best movies ever. They were just very wisely created. I don't know. So I just have a hard time when people hate certain MCU movies and put the other ones up on the pedestal when they're all fine. Like Winter Soldier, everyone's like, it's like a political thriller. I'm like, yeah, but what? Name a political thriller. And they're like, oh.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like,
Just because Robert Redford is in it doesn't mean that it's all the president's man. You know what I'm saying? It's they do manage to find genres and play with them and then throw the Marvel characters into them. And so that is a cool thing.
Mm-hmm.
But this movie did not deserve the level of vitriol and hate that it got. Not at all. It's a fun movie. And because you all hated on so many of the Marvel movies, we didn't get that extra 10 to 15 minutes so that we could see Carol realize, oh, wait, I'm responsible for the death of billions. Let me deal with that. That's on you, haters.
Yeah.
All right.
Like,
that's on you for make this movie as quick. Let's just get it in and out. Let's go. Let's just get it over with.
Dude, this movie's crazy. So normally at the end of every year, Disney sends out screeners for press, like for your consideration, and they'll shoot you an email when all their movies are currently in. Like when Wish came out, it was like, oh, for your consideration, it's here. The Creator, for your considerations here. Chevalier, for your considerations here. They just dumped the Marvels into the FYC thing. And then one day I was like, I wonder what's in here. I wonder if anything's new. The Marvels is sitting in there. It's like Disney just dumped it in there. And it just sucks that they would do that. Like, people didn't like it before it came out.
Yeah.
And we're not saying it's perfect, man. There's some issues with it, but it's still a comic book movie, and it's still a Marvel movie. Like, I don't take any, like, none of these are pure art to me. Like, listen, when a movie crosses $200 million in budget, maybe aside from a few people like Denis Villeneuve, like, it's still a corporate movie. Like, it's still, it's not going to be your art house film. It's not going to be incredible. So it's not like, not at all. It's not going to be Unbreakable, which I love, which M. Night Shyamalan said is 60% art film, but it's so they're giant mass marketed things meant for the largest consumer group around the world to make money so they can sell merch and stuff. So I don't care if one of them's not as good as the other. Oh, no. Like, I know what they are.
I totally understand what you're saying, man. And then, there is the issue of superhero fatigue. And then there is the issue of, Captain Marvel in her different iterations in the comic books. There have been so many, after the first Captain Marvel, who was a dude, died of cancer in the comics, we get Miss Marvel. And then later on, we get Captain Marvel, who shows up in the Amazing Spider-Man annual, who's Monica Rambeau, co-designed by John Romita. I think John Romita or John Romita Jr. And then we get the later Carol Danvers. She pops up. And there's so many different things that they have. Rogue stole Carol Danvers' powers one time. It put her in a severe depression. There's so much stuff that could have been done with Captain Marvel relatively interesting character. They draw her very, 36, 24, 36, shall we say, at all times, whether she's the black one or the white one. And so in the comics, the outfit that she's in the movie, Captain Marvel Monica Rambeau, that's one of her comics costumes, the binary costume. And then it's just that on top of the fatigue, Captain Marvel has always been, in terms of popularity, even under Iron Man. She's cool, but she was always part of the West Coast Avengers. She did have a couple of solo series, so it's kind of okay. Captain Marvel's cool, There's not the level of hate that, of course, the online haters drummed up to get their money to actually sink this movie. That's saying something. She didn't deserve that. But at this point, Captain Marvel. And and actually that was the vibe with Guardians of the Galaxy in the beginning too, because it was, who the hell is this? Who are these people? But the movie was awesome.
So good.
because it leaned into, talking tree and raccoon. Right. Gonna hang out with a green broad and a white dude from the Midwest. Let's go. What? That was insane. And
they put together the team so quick in Guardians. Like some putting together the team movies takes an hour. They just dumped them in a prison together after a quick fight, and then they're a team, quote unquote. Right. Like I love that about it. So smart. And I like that they put this team together really fast too, which is neat. Like why waste time? Right. Like they're sucked into each other's world, and then they're three fighting. And that's
And another award that you can give for the Marvels is, oh my God, catastrophic hole in space award again.
That's what I put. Because I had that and wait, what? Did Captain Marvel commit genocide award? That's my do you think it's one of the most casual genocides from a superhero in a film ever?
I can't. I mean, Peter Parker's uncle dying, and it was barely his fault. Like he'll never let that go. Someone is responsible for the death of planets worth of people. And she's just, I'm listening to the Beastie Boys now. I'm just a girl. Yeah. What do you mean genocide? I'm Captain Marvel. Yeah. Genocides.
Let's not think about that. Let's just.
Let's not and say we did. Oh, and then what's up with that accent award? Tessa Thompson.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I could swear that in the Thor movie where he fights the Hulk, the third one,
Ragnarok,
the Taika Waititi one, Ragnarok, she didn't have that British accent, did she?
I don't think so.
He came out of nowhere, and then on top of that, we solved the Skrull problem. Just take him to Asgard. Problem solved.
Yeah, just
take him to Asgard. Asgard's got room.
Newfoundland.
Yeah, just take him to Asgard.
And then what about the other? Okay, let's get into this. All right, so the next show. Let's see. We're going to move on to the TV shows, Norbert.
Let's go.
So let's do Secret Invasion, which my award is Sam Jackson finally gets a show, and the guy from the OA is in it award. And I got to tell you,
bruh.
Oh, go for it.
Go ahead. You go.
Well, you go first. I got the first few episodes of this and a little early, and I watched them, and I was like, "This is cool. This is good." And then I watched the 3 other episodes of it later on. I was like, "Oh no!" But it starts off well, man. And I know I said the whole thing cost $212 million for 6 episodes, and they had to do complete reshoots. And people were fired, and someone said it was just there's that really variety piece that came out, and they said it was a free-for-all on set and everyone was fighting, but you can feel it in this movie, which kind of sucks too, because
too many cooks.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, they shot it on location, I think, so I mean that looks kind of fine, but you're watching some of this and you're like, this looks like a TV show, this looks like a syndicated television show, like Chicago Fire PD. This doesn't look like a $212 million showcase, and it sucks because I love Sam Jackson, but then he came back and everyone's like, he's broken, and you're just and I know Sam Jackson said he wanted to explore other areas because in the other movies he's kind of a badass. I don't know, it's because he's still a badass in this movie, so I'm not. And then the final fight,
the final fight was the problem for me.
Yeah. But
you go ahead. You can lay out some more. Go ahead.
But the Skrulls, there's a million of them, bro. They could take over the world.
Yeah. quite easily. Yeah.
And they're still there. And then the president's like, I'm going to kill all of them. And like, no, you're not.
Yeah, that was dark.
Yeah.
That was dark though. But it was dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was an empty threat, but yeah, we don't like the immigrants. Message. Well,
I just don't. I don't think they're even going to pursue this further, though. So, like now, every single MCU show that comes out, you're like, "There's a million of these guys around." Like this.
Yeah. And the same way we didn't deal with. Oh, there is a dead celestial in the Pacific Ocean. Yeah, it's just there.
Earth is a horrifying place, and so imagine we live on Earth. So, like, New York's always attacked. Half the population disappears. There's a celestial. I mean, think about, you're like, wait, there was a secret nation in our world that's more powerful than anybody else. All right. Yeah. Wait, there's a water culture now that is just murdering people. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. They're going to wage war on us. Like, it's just
constantly
like there's Egyptian gods attacking Cairo. Like,
that's right.
You're going, okay. So I think there's a hell. So people on this earth now,
right?
They're like, we're not alone. And there apparently is an afterlife, and there's Egyptian gods that are from the BC that predate Christ that are on Earth fighting in Cairo.
That's right.
There's metal people. An entire country, like a whole city, was lifted up and dropped.
That's right.
There's
but the good news is you might be able to get onto a spaceship and leave. Literally.
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah, because Earth is insane. But the good news is you hang out with the right Avenger, they might just put you on a cool planet.
I'm moving to the Midwest.
Move to Iowa. Ain't nothing going to happen there.
You can't get flooded, right?
Nothing's going to happen in Dakotas either. Too cold.
Yeah. Like, yeah. You just move to the Midwest. Like, if there's a gigantic tidal wave caused by a celestial, the water might not get you. Right.
That might not.
Stay away from the Great Lakes in case it does, like something hits there.
Don't go to Canada because they might bring Wendigo back for the X-Men.
Please do.
And he's a cannibalistic psycho white giant 8 foot tall wolf beast. And he's just Wendigo. Nope. Nightmare fuel.
Yeah.
Nope. Don't go to Canada.
Don't go too far north.
Just in case.
Have a bunker, and always know when helicarriers are passing by because it might land on you.
They might land on you. Yeah.
There's Russian secret spies everywhere around the world ready to murder.
It's horrifying.
Like, why even work? Like, why do it?
Well, this is why.
This is our world. Sorry, Norbert. This is all that on top of our world now.
That's right.
So
that's right. On top of what's going on.
It's like, it's our world that's bad, right? And a lot of people look away and they live their lives, whatever. Add in everything we just talked about.
That's right. And that's why Michael Keaton was just going around picking up superhero scraps and making that business. You know, because that was the smartest thing. You know, you just snatch up. Oh, well, it looks like a power gauntlet there. It's probably worth $2,000-$3,000. Let's get it out. You know what I mean? Smart guy. And that's why, again, good motivation when the government came in with damage control, took his job, took his livelihood. He's got to feed his hot daughter. Nope, unacceptable. Nope, going to be a criminal now. Going to do that. You took my livelihood. I'll kill you.
He was smart though.
So
go ahead. He's the robber that smashed a window and just grabbed the stuff in the front of the store and ran. Like he's
that's it.
He's not the one who went to the back of the store and tried to get the safe, and then the cops come and he gets caught. Like he's a smash and grabber. And he didn't get caught until he got caught. But whatever.
No, man. But several reasons why I am in the minority of people who digs Secret Invasion. Except for the final fight. Number one, Sam Jack is like 79,000 years old. He's been in 48 million TV shows, movies, commercials, YouTube videos, whatever. This is his first TV show. So I ride with him for that. Mm-hmm. He gets executive producer credit. Just I will listen to Samuel Jackson read me stereo instruction. I love that guy. I love him in everything. So I always wanted to see him get his Nick Fury on. And they give him some space. Number two, stakes. Yeah, there are a million Skrulls, but they're not going to take over the universe. They're homeless refugees, so the stakes ain't that high. They're not that high. Number three, Gravik. I get it.
Yeah,
cool villain.
Yeah,
Gravik,
good actor.
I got you. Great actor, motivation. Nick Fury turned me into a murderer.
Yeah.
Lied to me. Didn't do what he said he was going to do. And then just disappeared.
In the space.
So he could deal with his emotions. And meanwhile, me and my people, we're still here acting like Uber drivers. Yeah, I don't like that dude. I got you. I feel you, Gravik. 100%. So he's not the problem. Nick Fury's not the problem. The problem is Secret Invasion. Go back to the comic. What happens in the comic? In the comic, the Skrull Queen is like, so yeah, Galactus destroyed our planet. So our Bible says that we're supposed to take over the Earth. You're like, what? You're a religious fanatic. You're crazy. She murders them all. Okay, everybody, I'm the queen now. Yeah, let's take over the Earth. And they just start sprinkling in Skrulls all over the Earth. And, oh, Jarvis is a Skrull. What? Dum Dum Dugan is a Skrull. What? Elektra's a Skrull. How long has she been a Skrull? We have Skrull detected technology. She's just been a Skrull for how long? Wait, anybody could be a Skrull. Holy crap. Iron Man's like, you know what? All y'all, don't touch me, don't talk to me. I'm leaving this room. So now you get that mistrust. The dudes don't like each other. This is just after Civil War in the comics, that event where Captain America and Iron Man are fighting each other. So they already have beef. So now this is another layer of, you know what? I ain't like you anyway. And it just gets, it was cool. It was cool. And it ends with Norman Osborn saving the world. And then he becomes the leader of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Green Goblin?
And then that goes, yes. And then that goes into Dark Reign. There was a cool, people hate on Bendis as a writer, but he did some weird stuff, man. So all of this is happening in Secret Invasion. And then with this, it's just like, so yeah, Skrulls are everywhere, whatever. Yeah. Sometimes they might turn into the president. Ooh, spooky. So, again, this is what happens when, you take an idea and just the same way, World War Z was an awesome book.
Awesome book.
And then and then Brad Pitt's like, the movie's called World War Z, but that's about it. Da, 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 they run now. Hey, all right, I'm Cherry Lane. What the hell?
Do you think the people who made Secret Invasion actually liked Secret Invasion? And
that's the thing. Obviously not.
No. And then they had to go back and do four months of shoots. And listen, Sam got paid on those, so that's good. And
that's my man.
And like here's the thing: this is a glass half full, glass half empty. Where Sam Jackson finally got his own show. Don Cheadle's able to have fun. He's no longer Rhodey. He's like a Skrull that's taken over. You got like Olivia Colman having fun, Dermot Mulroney having fun. Kingsley Benadir, I love him from the OA. Like that guy, that's like one of my favorite shows, and he's so good in that show. But then when you look at the glass half empty, it's Secret Invasion. Like this is a $212 million movie that probably won't get referenced again. And it's a bummer. And it's a bummer that they went into it the way they did. It's a bummer they had to reshoot it. It's a bummer that the locations do not look good. Like it's an odd, like, I don't understand it. So for me, like, I just don't understand where the money went. And I know that there's special effects, sure, but this is a lot of money for a show that, so Captain Marvel looks good at times. It looks bright and glossy and big. This movie this show never feels big. And I don't know.
Well, it's like I said, man. Like I said, according to the comic, literally anybody could be a Skrull. And when they say anybody, they're not talking about the chief of staff. They're talking about Iron Man could be a Skrull. You know what I mean? And so what has he been planning? And how long has he been a Skrull? Anybody could be a Skrull. This was a point in the comics when Professor X, Mr. Fantastic, Namor, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, and Iron Man, they were the Illuminati. And they were behind the scenes in the Marvel universe, plotting stuff and manipulating people from behind the scenes. And then they come to find this out, and whoa, those are the dudes who came up with the idea to shoot Hulk into space to make World War Hulk. Like, so many crazy things were happening in the comics at this time. And I knew that when I saw this TV show was going to be Secret Invasion, I was like, well, at least Samuel L. Jackson will be in it.
Yeah.
So everything else, gone. Everything else gone. Everything else gone. And so I rest my head on the fact that Samuel L. Jackson, love story. That was cool.
Yeah.
He's married to a Skrull. We get some weird race relation stuff too.
And some
would you
Kroll
love
smooching.
me? Would you love me if I look like myself? He was like, I got to return some videotapes. I was like, whoa, that's not a good answer, buddy. It's bad real. It came to realize, yeah, actually, I do love her, no matter how she looks. I thought that was nice. You know, they killed what's his name?
And Maria Hill
Halos.
gets killed.
That was too bad. Well, Maria Hill getting killed. That was the Stakes is High award because who killed Maria Hill and why, and how are we going to stop them from killing everybody else? 2,000 people died out there. It was crazy, man.
That's why I liked the first couple episodes. I was like, oh well, this is like, it seemed like a gritty kind of film, and then Amelia Clark is now more powerful than Captain Marvel, right?
Yeah. Well, she that's another thing that they changed from the comics. The Super Skrull was Kl'rt, and he was made by the Skrull Empire to fight the Fantastic Four. Those were the powers that he had: the super strength of Grimm, the stretchiness of Mr. Fantastic, the fire of Johnny Storm, and he could do the invisible stuff. Yeah.
So now she has
since
everything.
There are no Fantastic Four, she just has the powers of whoever. And the way that they did it was so general that should she pop up again, oh, really? She can shrink too, like Ant-Man? Wow, didn't know that. They'll just throw stuff in there. You'll see.
And she uses Drax's biceps.
I'm just making a guess.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. I'm just guessing now.
But still, I watched it all. I never hated it, but I was just, come on, guys. I guess it annoyed me more when I learned how much it cost.
Perfectly cromulent show.
Moving on to something that I think is more cromulent, and I'm going to give it the Owen Wilson finally on a jet ski award, which is probably the greatest scene ever when he's selling jet skis as Don.
Wow.
He's a jet ski salesman and single father from Cleveland, Ohio.
Yes, sir.
But
yes, sir.
All right, so Loki season 2, right? $141 million budget, which is, a lot cheaper than $70 million cheaper than Secret Invasion, and it's nothing but special effects and big scenes and just what I like about it is you have Ki Kwan running around, you have just Eugene Cordero, who I love from he has this Tacoma FD. I love that show. Like Wumi Osaku, like just so many good actors. I don't know about Sylvie's mullet though. That threw me off. But Tom Hiddleston, you have a lot of really good actors. Gugu Mbatha Raw, like just cool actors, good special effects. Jonathan Majors doing another bit. And it's just, but it looks good and it's fun and it's timey-wimey and there's buttons and there's jet ski salesmen and there's books and there's people. It's just, I don't know. There's people walking towards orbs and getting their spacesuits blown off, and it's cheeky and it's fun. And I don't know. I liked how weird it was. I liked that it felt quite singular. I like that Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead, some of my favorite directors, directed some of the episodes. I don't know. I liked it. I really dug Loki season 2 as like its own thing, but I have no idea what it's going to do for the larger MCU now that Majors is gone and Loki's a tree.
Loki is the keeper of stories, which is what happened to him in the comic book.
Oh, really?
Because, after you try to take over the world for a really long time and you dig a guy's eye out and you murder people, bro, all because you feel inadequate. Daddy didn't love you. You're actually a frost giant, kind of. You're not an Asgardian. Nobody likes you, bro. You're a POA. Get out of here, Loki. We hate you. And then to have Owen Wilson in season 1 just drop all of that in front of him and say, yeah, basically you're also responsible for your mother's death too. So take that, put that in your pipe and smoke it, Loki. He gets his breakthrough. He's rehab now, kind of. He's trying to be a better person. And it took me several viewings of season 2 to try to figure out what the hell was going on and actually what was Loki's motivation. Yeah, they break it down. He doesn't want to be alone. He wants people to understand him. He wants people to accept him. And he finally sacrifices himself by becoming the keeper of stories. We don't need the loom. The loom is not what we need. Because what was the temporal loom inverts the temporal decay of the electricity flowing through it. and all its ring entropy and gathering it to fine threads of power, which it then weaves into elegant ropes of voltage. A chaos of particles is transformed into order with my device. The wattage Edison uses to light a single light bulb can light the whole of Chicago. The dude was taking time itself to turn it into electricity. He's a psycho. He's been a psycho for a long time. Yeah. So let's get Loki to do it, because Loki actually cares about people now. So now Loki is literally holding the fabric of reality, space, and time together. That's cool, man. But I didn't get that the first viewing. I was like, what the hell is going on in this show, man? And the one thing that struck me on the first viewing was the female Loki.
Yeah, Sylvie.
Her name's Sylvie. Thank you. Bruh, imagine how awful her life was, the things that she went through, the catastrophes that she's seen, so that her one goal in life was to get a job at McDonald's in the 80s.
I mean, listen, the menu wasn't that like huge yet, so it's pretty easy to work there.
Bruh, you know what I want? I want a fast food job. Please give me a job in fast food. Okay, I can't take it anymore. If I don't get a fast food job, I'm going to kill myself. Because those were her choices.
Yeah.
At that point in the show, I am going to kill myself in a natural disaster of some type, or you're going to let me work the soft serve machine. Which one is it? Sweet Jesus, man. That poor woman. What she had gone through, man.
You don't really get that as well. This show was really fast, I think, when they're running around all the facility and he's zapping everywhere. And just the dial, like, I don't know. I like the ensemble too. I don't, it's the problem is while watching, I'm like, well, this is just so singular. This is not going to affect the MCU at all. This is just kind of fixing what happened in Loki. But then Loki has a character arc. That's pretty much it.
This is the end of Loki. For all intents and purposes, this is the end of Loki. Because I haven't checked too far into the comics to see what happens after he becomes the keeper of stories. But you know, if the man is holding together the fabric of reality itself, what's he going to do? Maybe he would have come down to eventually fight Kang, but they put in the last episode, they just say, yeah, Kang's running around, but we can contain him. He's running around the 616 reality, but we can contain him. 616 reality is Spider-Man's reality. The current Spider-Man, the current MCU is 616.
Oh, so, yeah, but we got him. It's cool. And then they just
it's cool. Out of the way.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's right.
It's all a bunch of timey-wimey nonsense to me, but it's you know, a lot of it, you know, it's funny. I was just watching like, whatever, it's cool. Like, I don't know if you should watch MCU shows like that cost this much money, but it's the way I felt towards it. I didn't regret my time watching it. It was good.
No. It was a good show, man. And the never trust a big butt and a smile award, that goes to Miss Minutes.
Oh yeah, she goes rogue.
Because bruh, did you see that coming from season 1, Miss Minutes? Because I didn't.
See, there were some fun moments in this. Like, I think there were some good twists. There were some good bits. And no, I don't think I would watch it again, but I would definitely watch Owen Wilson on a jet ski again.
I think honestly that Loki is absolutely a show where you need to watch season 1 and 2. Just take a weekend and just watch it all, and then maybe it would make more sense. Because the amount of time that went between season 1 and 2, and then for you to just sit down and watch season 2. Oh yeah, I get it. No, not really. Not really. It's mad strange. It's really weird.
I'm not one of those guys who watches something that's like, I don't even know what's going on. Like, I think sometimes I'm like, dude, you're watching Jumper. Like, it's easy to understand. But you while watching this, I'm like, I don't know. I'm not even going to listen to half. Like, I don't know. I'm not even going to try to absorb half this dialogue that these people are saying. I'm like, I'm just going to enjoy it. Like,
you can't. You can't.
And it's like, sure. Like, I think a lot of times when they said something big, I'm like, yeah, cool. Like, all right.
Right. Sure. The loom. Yeah. Running out of time. Ooh, temporal radiation. Gotcha. Right. What?
Nonsense.
What?
You know, just I like Eugene Cordero running around. I like that guy a lot. So I was like, all right, cool. This is good.
You're like, hey Siri, what is temporal radiation? I don't know.
You know when I love a movie, I immediately go to research what cameras were used and like what the plot was and what the writing was. With this one, I was like, I'm not even going to do it. Like I know I did research. I read about it. I read about the creation of it. Like they had all, just what they were going to do, but I wasn't too. I was like, I don't even. It's a temporal pincer. No, that's Tenet. You know, I was just what
okay, sure, Jan. Sure, Jan. Whatever.
All right. So
Yeah.
we're on to the final show. And I'm gonna do the Daredevil. Oh my gosh, Daredevil. Oh my gosh, Kingpin. Oh my gosh, one take fight scene that makes sense for the story.
That was beautiful
Award. And that goes to Echo, the $40 million budgeted show with 5 episodes.
Echo's my favorite TV of the MCU in 2023.
Oh,
I said it.
I mean, we're talking like if there's a list, I'm putting it like 1, 2, and 3. And then I'll put Loki at 4 and then Secret Invasion at 5. Like I'm not even gonna put anything. I'm not even gonna put anything in 2 and 3. Like I'm just gonna leave it right there. Listen, it gets in, it gets out. There's good care. Like I love that she shoots Kingpin in the face, and I love that Kingpin comes
in the
back.
I word. Yeah.
I love that he's like, "You're coming back with me," and she's like, "No." And then I love that there's errant rocket launcher action that ends up like a firework. I like the roller rink action. I dig the world building. You know, like what they talked about with the Choctaw powers, and I don't know. I like Biscuit.
I didn't get it. Oh, Biscuits is great.
Yeah,
Biscuits is great. I didn't get at first why they kept going to those different clips of Choctaw women in the past. And then it just came together in episode 5. Oh, okay, I understand this, man. You know? And so my award is the Last Dragon Award for Maya, because she got the glow, brother.
Yeah, she got the glow.
She reached that final level. Her mind, body, and soul can be one. Because she was kind of on the verge of having the glow a few times, and then she found the glow so that she could get her leg out of the train. So that was cool. Mm-hmm. And then not only does she get the glow in the last episode, she gives it to her family, and then they get the glow too. And then they just turn into badasses and just start beating everybody up. And then she uses the power of love and forgiveness
on Kingpin
to defeat the Kingpin.
Yeah.
Who does that, man? Who uses the power of love? The power. You know what? I forgive you. Episode over, credits roll. What?
So
that was
good.
Great, man.
And then he's going to become the mayor. But like Henry, like I like Henry a lot. Like the actor Chas Spencer, he was super cool. I mean, Graham Greene's always welcome. Zahn McClarnon, like I love that guy. You know, we get to watch him die again, but as an actor, like in Fargo and Dark Wind, like awesome actor.
That dude.
And just Maya Lopez. Like I think, you know, what's great about the Daredevil fight scene is that, you know, Daredevil gets out of there, but Kingpin's like, well, you did better than most of my people. So you got
seriously.
And
you can still walk.
And you know what's interesting? Yeah. She was young when she went with Kingpin. And so when you're with those people, you do get groomed. You do get put in these places for violence. You do get trained for that. And yeah, she becomes a straight up killer. She's a murderer. But it's kind of tough to say, but she was groomed. Like Kingpin's very persuasive. Like that's
Kingpin, her father.
Yeah. Oh yeah, her dad was a killer. Like he was a gang.
The dude at the bowling alley. It's always been around her in the periphery. You know, the grandmother who's saying, you know, look what you did to my daughter, man. You know, get out of here. I don't like you. I don't like your face because you've been a dirtbag forever. Yeah.
And those brakes go out and you're like, oh, man.
That was brutal, man. That was brutal. But you know what, man? The brakes were really just the friends we made along the way, because this is how we get our lovely Maya, man.
Yeah.
Maya's a badass.
Yeah,
Maya's badass. And my favorite thing about this show is the amount of silence. The amount of silence that you get in this show, the eyes of people, the facial expressions, the reading of vibes is so strong in this show, man. People get a chance to act, to emote. Scenes get a chance to breathe. This is a good show, man. This is a good show.
And it's done well.
It's top tier MCU TV. MCEU TV. I don't know what it is. It's canon. It's all canon. Shut up.
And it's popular. It's done really well on Hulu and Disney Plus.
She's great.
It brought back Kingpin again. It opened up that world. And you remember her interpreter? Remember, like, just
yes,
gets that technology, and then she's just done. Like the whole hallways. Listen, if you're getting walked away in the whole hallways,
you're covered in plastic.
And the plastic's down. Yeah. Miss.
Oh my,
Yeah.
oh my God. Yo, and thank you for your time. And then just casually eating. This steak is delicious. What?
It's crazy.
I did not see that coming, man.
Just murders her.
Just murder her down the hall. Not even take her outside.
Then when he visits her, remember when he visits her, he's like, "I brought your favorite cookies." Like, are these still your favorite? Like he knows her.
Why are we? Yeah. Why are we hanging out now? I shot you in the eye, so let's get a drink now. What?
He's kind of proud of her. I think because that takes gumption. Like,
yeah,
Norbert, you're like the most powerful dude in New York. You kill interpreters, you smash brains. You know, your best friend Wesley's killed and you're really pissed off about it. You make eggs every morning beautifully. You know, you can strangle people with your pinky. And then your protege just shoots you in the face. You survive it. You're going to be like, I'm pretty pissed right now, but they shot me in the face. Like, and it wasn't even like the wimpy kneecap shooting. It was like, no, face, eyeball. And you know, you're a little mad, but also he's a psychopath. And so you're kind of like, well, that's real. Like real respect's real.
Man. That's right, man. Real people do real things. You know, you watch me beat up that ice cream guy, and then you gave him a couple of cakes yourself. Oh, come on, let's go get some Goreos together.
Oh man,
that was dark. It's dark. This is a good show, man. This is a good show. And street level Marvel stuff, even in the comics, I never used to get so much into the more cosmic stuff. I was a Fantastic Four guy, but the cosmic stuff. Definitely beyond Silver Surfer got real weird, man. Got real weird. And so in the comics, Wilson Fisk does become the mayor for a time. Devil's Reign.
That's a great plot too. Now you got Daredevil. You have that crew back. And I don't know, this show though, it just, you know, going back, like, you know, Biscuits too, like with his truck. He was just Biscuits is nice, man. He's a good dude.
That's it.
And I don't know. Like the red light, green light.
Yeah, the red light, green light. That was a great. I miss roller skating rinks, man.
Yeah,
I really do.
And just
I miss roller skating.
The fight scene that destroys everything in the roller rink. You know, just it's I don't know. When you talk about street level, I love the first season of Jessica Jones. Daredevil's my favorite MCU thing, I think, out there. Maybe aside from Guardians. Like I dug Iron Fist season 2. I watched. The first episode of Iron Fist season 1, then I watched the last episode of Iron Fist season 1.
Yeah,
and then the second one was better though, when it gave Colleen more to do.
Colleen Wing,
when it gave her more to do, like she got the sword and like she became that. And then Luke Cage, man, Mahershala Ali, and just that was Punisher, like that was good. That was ground level good. And you know what's crazy? TV. They shot on location too, but it looked great. Like secret not wars, secret agenda, secret agenda. That was shot on location, but it didn't look good. Like this, they shot in New York for the Marvel stuff, and it looked New York. Like it wasn't Georgia for New York, and just looked good. So
Netflix money, Netflix money and the Disney money.
And like it just sucks, dude. That Kevin Feige and that guy who ran Netflix Disney or Netflix MCU beefed.
Yeah.
Because then they're like, oh yeah, well, it's not canon anymore. And then they couldn't make certain shows for a while because of the Netflix contract. But it's like, guys, like these dudes were awesome. And someone made a joke. They're like, it took all the brains in in Marvel's creative group to realize that Daredevil is a good show. Like,
yeah. Can you imagine?
Can you imagine? We're gonna change everything about it. Wait, but you know what though? I have faith in the future because they watched it and went, ooh. Yeah, we're reshooting this. So that's good. Like, I think the quality control will be back. You know, we're past COVID time. I mean, COVID's still around, but you know what I mean? We're past the lockdowns. We're, you know, they, you know, some Marvel guy said that they got stretched way too thin and there wasn't too much quality control, which I think makes sense when you're shooting a $200 million show in one country. You're shooting a $200 million show in another country. You're shooting a $270 million movie here. You're shooting a $250 million movie in Georgia. Like
when you have one effects team to do work for all of it.
Wakanda forever.
And you wonder why MODOK looks like a jerk and why that fight scene at the end of Secret Invasion was very janky.
Yeah.
It's very janky. Yeah.
I think they learned, man. They've already scaled back. They'll do it. Like they're smart people there. I just think Disney, I think Disney, that the Disney CEO guy, he just wanted to push hard on Disney Plus, and I think
That's it.
that was huge. That was
Yeah.
a lot of stuff being made.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll be like, okay, pump the brakes. It's like, let's get people who like the shows, and like let's move forward. And I think Echo is really a good way to end, well, or start 2024.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Six episodes. Get in, get out. I also, contrary to a lot of people, I love the Defenders. I thought that was great.
Oh yeah, Defenders was fun.
And it was only 8 episodes, and that's how you need to do it. You know, we don't need 47 episodes in one season anymore. We learned this lesson. You know,
I think 8's optimal.
until 8's great. 8's great. It was great. Yes, they did kill Sigourney Weaver early. That came out of nowhere. But you know what? I like the rest of those characters, man. You know, and Iron Fist sucked because the dude sucked.
Yeah, dude sucked.
Dude didn't put the work in to get good at it. You know, all the other MCU shows are awesome because, yeah, that was Jessica Jones doing the fights. That was Luke Cage doing the fights. We got to see it the way they shot it. We could see it was them doing the fights. The dude that's Daredevil, are you kidding me?
Charlie Cox is awesome.
Charlie Cox is like a kung fu master now. You know, like that's him. You know what I'm saying? And then this dude Finn comes in. I can throw a punch.
That was bad.
Watch me. It just looked awful.
And also,
man.
Elodie Young as Elektra was great. The guy who played Bullseye was really good.
Yeah.
David Tennant, like Mahershala, like the villains were good, man. Like
the villains were on it.
That dude who played
the villain
Bullseye.
we get. Yeah. I also like Colin. Not for nothing. I like Colin Farrell in that Batfleck movie.
Dude, he's hilarious.
He was so good, man. That movie was terrible, but he was awesome. I will still occasionally watch that movie and just fast forward to his scene.
That's all you need to watch.
Just being a sociopath,
flicking peanuts into people's mouths and playing darts. He's just shaking the entire time. His entire body's like,
he's insane. He's pure sociopath.
There's an electric current running through him, which I love. But hey,
it's awesome.
Hey, we did it, and this is the shortest MCU wrap up we've ever done.
Nice.
Remember a couple years ago when we tried to do one, it ended up being like 3 hours. We had to split it up.
That's because there's 1,000 things to talk about.
This is delight. Hey, where can people find you, Norbert?
At Eddie Kane on Twitter, Norbert Morvan on SoundCloud, Norbert O. Morvan in the Instagram. We're just put the name Norbert Morvan. You'll find me. Large black man. You can't miss him. He's on the internets. He's doing the damn thing.
All right, so this is coming out, but then you and I have a football series coming out. So this is coming out before Replacements, and then we have Any Given Sunday. Then we're going to do Remember the Titans, and we have a couple more planned. But this is good. Football, as they say in the Replacements. So yeah, this is great, man. And thank you for joining me. So for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, for Norbert Morvan, this is Movies from the Flicks. We'll see you next week.